All right, welcome in, everybody. Today, we're going to be taking a deep dive into the astrological forecast for tomorrow, March 24th, 2025. And
sounds good.
We're going to be specifically using Tarot by High C as our main source.
Excellent.
For this deep dive. So think of this as like your express guide
Absolutely
to the cosmic weather, right?
Yeah.
We're going to give you the main energies at play and how those energies might be influencing your thinking, maybe the way you communicate, and your overall emotional landscape.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to put it, you know?
Throughout the day tomorrow.
Kind of like a weather forecast.
Exactly.
But for your soul and your mind.
There you go, the cosmic weather.
There you go.
So that's kind of our mission today is to break down what Tarot by High C is saying and gives you some practical insights to move through your day with more awareness.
Yeah, and I think just having that awareness and knowing what to expect can really help you navigate, you know, any challenges or really utilize the positive energies that are flowing.
For sure. I mean, I think that's the point of all of these deep dives that we do. It's just like, you know, it's kind of like if you wake up and you know that it's going to be a rainy day, well, you grab your umbrella.
Yeah, you grab your umbrella.
And you're prepared, right?
Exactly.
And that's the same thing with this. It's like if we can sort of know what's coming, we can kind of prepare ourselves mentally and emotionally.
For sure.
Okay, so let's jump into it.
Okay.
So the forecast kind of describes tomorrow's overall energy as deep, intense, and probing.
Okay.
So it sounds like things might not be as straightforward as they seem at first.
Yeah.
What do you think that means?
Well, you know what that sounds like to me? It makes me think that our initial ideas or like our gut reactions to things might need a second look.
Got it.
So, for example, you know, let's say a new project idea comes up at work or, you know, or in your personal life.
Yeah.
Instead of jumping right in, it might be a day to really like explore it from different angles.
So take your time a little bit.
Yeah, take a little bit of time. Don't rush into anything. Okay. Let things kind of marinate a little bit.
I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So then moving into the morning, we've got the moon in Aquarius.
Okay.
Which is known to really encourage this open-mindedness.
Yeah.
And a lot of sources say that this is a really good time to consider new ideas. It's like a mental refresh button, right?
It absolutely is. It's all about, you know, being open to new perspectives and really kind of thinking outside the box a little bit. Okay. So if you've been struggling with a problem, you know, tomorrow morning might be a really good time to just like sit down, maybe with someone who has a totally different perspective than you, and just brainstorm some ideas. Okay. You might be surprised by the solutions that come up.
So kind of like, fresh perspectives, new ideas.
Fresh perspectives, new ideas, being open.
Bouncing ideas off of other people.
Exactly.
Okay, I like it.
And there's also a little note here about, you know, there's a potential for some really deep introspection. Okay. But a caution to not get too fixated on the emotional details.
Interesting.
Yeah. So kind of keep things more on the mental level.
So explore the new, have a thoughtful conversation.
Yeah.
But don't let emotions kind of rule the morning.
Exactly.
Okay, so then in the afternoon, we have the Aquarius moon connecting with Pluto.
Okay.
And Pluto is often associated with power and transformation.
Right, all those deep, intense themes.
Yeah, so that sounds like it could make things a little heavier.
It does. So when we say connecting here, what we really mean is that they're what we call conjunct. Okay. Which means they're basically right next to each other in the sky.
Got it.
So those energies are kind of amplifying each other.
Got it.
So it can make things, you know, like you said, more intense. It can bring up some deeper truths, maybe some hidden motivations.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there is a little bit of a silver lining here. Okay. Because the Aquarius moon is also what we call sextile. Okay. Venus, Mercury, and the sun. Okay. So think of a sextile as like a more helpful or more harmonious connection. Got it. So even though we have that intensity from Pluto, we also have this really nice flow of communication and understanding. Okay. So it's kind of like, you know, the intensity is there, but we have the tools to work with it in a positive way.
Okay, so it's not all bad.
Not all bad.
It's just intense.
Just intense.
Okay, and then this is where it gets really interesting. Tarot by High C really highlights this Sun conjunct Mercury retrograde as kind of a major focal point for tomorrow. Okay. And this is something that could bring past impulsive actions or communications, like even those spicy texts, back to the surface.
Oh, no.
So what's the key takeaway?
Oh, that's a good one.
Here for you with this.
So I think the big takeaway is, that this is a time for review. The universe is kind of giving us a nudge to go back and look at past decisions, especially the ones that we maybe rushed into. Yeah. And Tarot by High C gives this advice to research, edit, own, and then relaunch. Okay. So it's not about dwelling on the past or beating ourselves up. It's about taking what we've learned and moving forward in a more strategic way.
So it's like we can learn from our past mistakes.
Exactly.
And move forward with more clarity.
Absolutely. It's all about clarity and growth. Okay. We all make mistakes, but it's about how we learn from them and use them to evolve.
And I think what's interesting too is Tarot by High C also mentions that this could bring insights into like previously overlooked information.
Yes, absolutely.
Like what does that mean for you?
So it could be anything, right? It could be an email that you forgot about. Okay. It could be a conversation that comes back to mind that you had maybe months ago, or even just a sudden realization about a past event. It's like all of a sudden you have this new understanding that you didn't have before. Yeah. And that can be super valuable for making future decisions.
Okay. So we're not just rehashing the past. No. We're actually
it's about
meaning the past to inform the present and the future. Okay. And one thing I think is really important to note here is that Tarot by High C specifically says to resist the urge to immediately fix things. Okay. It's like we might feel this impulse to go back and try to make amends for past mistakes right away. Right. But the advice is to pause, to strategize, and then to move forward with a clear plan.
So it's not about being reactive.
No, not reactive.
It's about being more intentional.
Intentional, exactly.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah. Okay, so just to kind of wrap things up, for tomorrow, March 24th, 2025, it seems like. Yeah. We're starting with this open-minded exploration in the morning.
Absolutely.
Perhaps some deeper interactions in the afternoon. Yes. And then this kind of overarching theme of revisiting and learning from the past.
Very important.
Especially when it comes to communication. Especially communication.
Yeah, don't send those spicy texts.
Spicy texts.
Without thinking about it.
Unless you want them to come back to haunt you.
Exactly, right.
Yeah.
So it's a day that really encourages both internal reflection and meaningful connection. Yeah. And I think it's just really important to remember that we can use the wisdom of our past experiences to inform our future actions.
It's all about growth.
It's all about growth.
I like it. Yeah. So my question for everyone listening out there is, as you go into your day tomorrow, how can you maybe take a more thoughtful and less reactive approach to your communication?
I love that.
Especially if something from the past comes up.
Yes.
How can you use that as a learning opportunity?
Such a good question.
Rather than just kind of going back into your old patterns.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. So that's something to think about. Something to think about.
That's our deep dive for today.
Awesome.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see you next time.